Symtherin, and welcome back to my channel and to another speed build in The Sims 4. Today we are visiting a world I have not built in a while. I honestly can't remember when the last time was, but we are here in Mount Komorebi, which is the world that came with Snowy Escape. It is absolutely gorgeous with or without snow. We are in a neighborhood that isn't always snowy. So we're not up in the mountains is pretty much what I'm trying to say here. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. We went very modern with it, which I enjoy to do every so often. So I hope you guys enjoy it too. We have a lot of mix of a lot of the newer packs that we got last year. Snowy Escape honestly was one of the first expansion packs where it was like, you guys are popping off, like the Sims team. And then ever since then, I feel like a lot of the, at least for build by items, I can't speak for gameplay, that is a whole different story. But at least for the build by mode and the categories or catalog, the items are just top tier. So here we're using a lot of For Rent, a lot of the Horse Ranch, and a lot of Snowy Escape. But once again, I don't really limit my pack usage, so beware of that if you do grab this off of the gallery, which I have to make sure it is up on the gallery. I was doing a lot of like batch building and stuff because that is one of my goals for 2024, is to kind of get ahead or be a little ahead at all times this year. Maybe not a full month. I don't think I have that in me, but 2 weeks I think is good. Just always being ahead 2 weeks. That's my goal. Here we are pulling out items from the live edit menu or debug menu, one of those. I use items from those catalogs all the time. It expands your options for landscaping and even fencing. So I loved mix matching these two fences from Snowy Escape, which is one is just like the wooden bamboo-ish slacks, and the other one has actually like hay texture on it. Maybe it's not hay, but you know what I mean. You can probably see it. So I never used that one before, and I kind of liked using it here. There's a tiny pond that I think might be functional. I didn't test it. I'm so sorry. But hopefully your Sims, if anything, could walk around and you can kind of pretend. But I tried my best. Usually that does work when you have a debug bridge like that, and then you can just put like a little piece of the flooring on there, like a little platform. So I tried it, but I did not test it, and I am sorry for that. But the yard is actually really nice. I put the shrine thing. Gosh, I'm so bad at remembering names for items, but it came with For Rent, so that's an activity you can do in the yard. I think I put some planters back there too, and some, I put some meditation stools back there too. So I really thought that this home was very zen. I can't wait to get to the interior and talk to you guys about that because I had a ton of fun with the interior. We go with some very dark wood tones in this one, and I think I'm calling this like a winter Komorebi modern home, something along the lines. I haven't quite decided yet. Naming my builds is the hardest thing ever for me. Like I always have an idea, but I feel like what I name these builds are so generic, and then I see other simmers like with all these fun names, and I'm like, wow, that's such a cool name. And or they come up with like addresses and street names and things of that nature, and I'm just like, family home. But it is what it is. Maybe I'll be more creative with that this year. We'll see. So the exterior is coming along. We're just going to finish up some landscaping. I do have like these platform planters on this part of the corner of the house on the front, and there's one in the back which I pretty much copied and pasted, which was super cool. I love having that feature available. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the landscaping. Landscaping is pretty fun. It's one of my favorite things. You could see I was struggling there to copy and paste it, like I said. And then I stopped recording because I was like, oh, this is going to be messy. But I did end up getting it. So it's there, I promise. And then in this corner, we're just pulling out all the fun bushes and the landscaping items in the debug menu for Snowy Escape are just really top tier. Like, I feel like the colors are just so vibrant and they pop and they're just so lush and pretty, and I absolutely love it. These little bamboo, maybe they're not bamboo trees, but these skinny green ones, I don't know what to call them. I'm sorry. But sometimes they like tend to disappear like they did right now if you zoom in. So that's just something to be wary of. Here we are adding some rocks and greenery to this little pond. I do end up putting some koi fish in here if I have not already. I think those lily pads are the ones with the koi fish. So it's not a huge pond, but it's a little cute pond. When we got Snowy Escape, I think we got the platform tool. Did we get the pond tool with Snowy Escape? No, pond tool came around, I think, Cottage Living, if I'm not mistaken. Those were like base game updates, which I love a good base game update. Is there a base game update you guys want to see this year? Is there something you are itching for? I'm trying to think if there's anything I am really itching for. I would really just like the stairs glitch to be fixed with the railings. Like, it was fixed so that it wasn't like peeking through the wall, but then for a while it was like your railings would just disappear and not show up, and then now they're peeking through the walls again. So I don't know. I would love to see that. I guess that's not too big of a thing. I would love spiral staircases. I think that's the last thing on my builder's like dream list. We got painted ceilings last year. We have the pond tool. We've got platforms. So in my mind, all we really are missing are spiral stairs. So it's only a matter of time, right? Fingers crossed. But let me know in the comments down below what your biggest dream or what your wish list is for base game updates for The Sims 4. Yeah, or any packs or anything in general. I know my last video I talked a little bit about the Medieval Castles kit being leaked, and that's going to be super cool. But I literally recording this voiceover after I did that video, so I'm not going to go into it. So go watch that video. That video's fun. It's part 2 of my apartment complex. So I hope you guys check that out if you haven't already. But we're adding some bikes here, and I think we're going to hop into the interior very, very soon. Yeah, there's plenty of things out here for your Sims to do, so I don't have too much to talk about that. The floor plan on the interior is probably one of my favorites. That's also another goal I have, is to get more comfortable with my floor plans. It's something I often struggle with. So I was really excited that this one kind of came out the way it did. We have a large kitchen here, and this kitchen, I would love this kitchen, to be honest. I also had the excuse to use these cabinets from Snowy Escape, which I feel like I don't use as often anymore as when they first came out. The best part of these cabinets is that they're completely open, so it really opens up all of that opportunity for clutter. And you guys know me, if you've been around, I love some clutter. But oftentimes, I don't want to do that much cluttering. At least recently, I've been like trying to be more mindful of the time it takes for me to build. So sometimes I'm like, maybe we should limit some of the cluttering and kind of keep it bare minimum. So I think that's been a good practice for me recently. But that's why I put those slats on the front of the cabinet with the sink, because one, it kind of looks funny with a sink being there. And then just kind of being open. So it's like, where's the plumbing? It's so weird. And then here I'm mixing and matching the for rent cabinets because the wood tones match pretty well, I feel like, at least with the top of the counters. And then I turned those like smaller pieces of the cabinets around so you're seeing the back of them, because I didn't want full cabinet, like the bigger box, but I didn't want the basket and towel clutter from the other piece kind of visible. So I thought that was a fun little trick. So in this kitchen, I clutter it up using that pressure cooker, I believe is what it is. We've got the hot pot, we've got literally almost anything and everything I could think of. And we're just throwing things down at this point. So yeah, I really like how this kitchen turned out. Next to this kitchen is the dining space, which I also completely adore, but we're going to be here in the kitchen for a bit. But in that dining space, we have a nice big fireplace, and we actually have two dining spaces. So we have like a regular table and chairs, and then we have that one that came with Snowy Escape, and I am so sorry again, I cannot remember the name of like what that table is called, but it's the one that's on the floor with the cushions. Gosh, I'm so bad at that. Please forgive me. I promise I don't do it on purpose. I'm just very forgetful. So yeah, I'm so sorry. Anyway, we're gonna move on from that. We're almost done cluttering up the kitchen. There is a part on the wall behind this island where I put, I think, like an end table from Horse Ranch. Yeah, Horse Ranch. I was like, that's not the name of the pack, but that is the name of the pack. Once I figure out which rug I want to use here, but I think I end up with this one from Spa Day. Yeah, I don't know. It's super fun. Starting to run out of things. This is what I get when I do 2 voiceovers in a row. And honestly, I have 2 more that I'm hoping to get completed today, the day of recording this, because I have an extra day off from work. So, and I had all these videos kind of edited, lined up and ready, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna have the house to myself for a little bit, you know. The dogs are definitely a lot more quieter and chill in the morning because they're used to us being at work, so they're kind of like on that like routine of just kind of being chill and sleepy. So I was like, this is perfect time to knock out all these freaking voiceovers. I might have to take a break after this one just to kind of like clear my head and get less rambly, but here is the end table I am talking about, where I'm just cluttering with some little knickknacks, probably a plant. I think I keep this mirror. I can't remember what I keep on the wall, but it is really cute and I absolutely adore it. The kitchen and dining space is much bigger than the living room space in here. And I think that's okay. I feel like the kitchen is like the heart of the home. So I feel like this family probably spends a lot of time in here anyway. So it just makes sense that it would be the biggest room of the house. And the living space isn't too far from there. It's actually, it's on the same floor here, but it's with all the windows in the corner, like in the front. So you'll see it. You'll see it in a little bit. I think I keep the bathrooms off camera again. Like I've said many times, I usually keep that off camera for sake of time. So, but there are 2 bathrooms, I believe, in here, and 2 bedrooms. Yes, I believe it's only 2 bedrooms in this one. I've been keeping my builds limited to like 2 bedrooms a little bit, mostly because that apartment complex build was, that was so big, you know, and at the end of last year, I feel like I've done a few like bigger builds. I think even before the apartment build, there was no in between the apartment build. It was for the Snowy Winter collab, I think, and that was a 3-bedroom, which isn't much bigger than this, but it was still bigger. So yeah, like I said, I'm being very mindful of the time that I have. Time management is going to be like the theme of my 2024, if you know what I mean. So yeah, here we are moving on to that secondary dining space. So you have plenty of room to host, and you could probably also move that if you'd rather put like a desk space here, even though there's one upstairs in the hallway. You could put, I don't know, a foosball table, any kind of activity, but it's really up to you and how you want to play the game. If you do choose to download this from the gallery, which I know I mentioned I have to check to make sure this is on the gallery, but I didn't tell you my gallery ID. So spoiler alert, it is Symtherin, just like it is here. Yay. But yeah, this is pretty much coming along. I don't know what else to say about this part except for I'm putting a little more clutter, some more statues, some plants. That dine out plant is definitely one of my favorites and makes an appearance in every single build, and I'm not sorry about it. So there you have it. Now we're just adding a little tea set or drink set. I think this one is also from the For Rent expansion pack, but I could be wrong. It's really hard for me to see with the catalog, and I'm trying to pick it out. But, you know, it's been about a week and a half since I've finished this build, so I'm a little rusty, so I'm kind of watching it along with you guys as if it's new to my eyes too. But here we are now working on the living room space, and of course we had to use the modular couch from Growing Together. No, wow, Dream Home Decorator. Oh, there are so many packs, guys. There are so many packs. It's so hard to keep track. But here I had to like remove the platform for a minute because sometimes when you place a rug down and you already have like a platform in place, like whether it's up a level, down a level, whatever, sometimes the rugs will then look like they're floating, and it's kind of really trippy. Like they look like they're on the floor, but they're kind of like, I don't know, I can't explain it without really showing it to you guys, but maybe you already know what I'm talking about. So it's a thing, you know, it's been a thing since platforms, I believe, and it's not that big of a deal. I'd rather get the stairs fixed because you could literally see the railing here peeking out under the TV, and I was trying to figure out how I can hide it, but I think I end up putting some shelves above this TV. This is the frame TV from the Modern Lux kit, which I feel like I would love to use more often, but sometimes it's from the Modern Lux kit, so granted, obviously, it's modern, right? But sometimes in like a traditional build, I kind of want that frame TV too, so I would love to get more frame TVs like that with different artwork. I think that would be totally fun. Obviously, maybe you can probably, if with the help of Tool Mod, maybe make your own frame TVs. I'm gonna have to try that out. Stay tuned. But yeah, on the shelf up here, we're just putting some books, some little knickknacks, and clutter. We do have a lot of clutter kits, which is fun, and I would actually love some more. I know maybe it's a little greedy for me to say that, but like I said a little while ago, I love clutter, and I actually had an idea for like a kids clutter kit, like stuffed animals, more toys, like I just think that would be so cool. Maybe like teen room clutter kit. I don't know. Like I think the possibilities there with kits are almost endless. I mean, you can argue that we have those things already, Symtherin, but I want more. I'm sorry. I just want more. I always want more. Anyway, here we are in the first bedroom. This is the bedroom for like a parent or a couple of parents. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I literally keep using this bed swatch this is also from the For Rent pack, and I think the yellow swatch is probably my favorite. I literally just used it in one of the units for my Tamarang apartment build series that I've got going on. And yeah, so if you haven't seen that yet, check that out. But it's literally the same bed swatch and curtain combo, and I'm sorry. In the landing, you can kind of see it here, and you'll see it in more detail in the tour. But we do have a seating area, some storage space, and a desk space right there. You can see with a computer. So you have everything you need really to be successful, or for your Sims to be successful anyway. Maybe a salary person works here. I was kind of thinking that a little bit, but you know, it's obviously up to interpretation and it's all up to you. But that room is done, so we are going to move on to the final bedroom of today's build, and this is a kid's bedroom, which I've been doing a lot of, and I'm trying to get a little more, more creative with the types of kids' bedrooms I use. So I typically do like pink or blues. So this time I pulled out these curtains from Growing Together because they're like little nursery-esque. I think that was the vibe they were going for, curtains. And then I always love this like reddish swatch. I guess you can argue it's a dark pink, but we're gonna go with red. So I really wanted to lean into those reds while keeping like the dark orange wood tones of the build. So that's why we have that bed. But I really like how this bedroom kind of came out. It's very cluttered. It's very cozy. They do have a little bit of a balcony space, but there's not much room there, so I didn't put anything out there. But if you wanted to, I'm sure you could. I think I put like an arts and crafts table in here that kind of, it might block the door, so it might not even matter. So I don't know. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do with the space, you can make it your own. I will make sure this is up on the gallery. I think that's the third time I'm saying this now. So yeah, we'll make sure it's available for you guys. And as always, if you want to use my builds and tweak them, that's perfectly fine. Just don't, re-upload them as your own. If you re-upload it, like with your tweaks, definitely just make sure you say this is Symtherin's build, but I tweaked it. You know what I mean? That goes for any other builds. Anyway, that is my PSA for today. This is the end of our video. Thank you guys so much for checking in and watching and hanging out with me. I hope you guys were cozy and enjoyed the build. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. And yeah, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day and have a good one. Thanks. Bye.